Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever in the world you are. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Midweek with Maggie. And just want to make sure I'm live, but video seems like a little lagging, but hopefully my internet would stay fine. I know last week, due to poor connection, is what Facebook was saying, that I couldn't continue my go live. But anyway, so hopefully this will be fine this week. How is everybody doing? How are you? Personally, I don't know if you can tell, I'm getting a little sick. And over the New Year's, actually, I probably mentioned it last week, but lack of sleep, like celebrating New Year's Eve and New Year's. I didn't have enough sleep. Well, I guess more of like my sleeping cycle got messed up, and so I'm trying to get over the sickness. But anyway, so that's what's going on in my life, and let me know how your day's going, how your 2020 is going so far. I can't believe it's already the 8th of January. In less than a month, I am going to be traveling for a little bit, and I'm very excited about it, and can't believe I know that January is gonna go by so fast, and the whole year is gonna go by so fast, because I have a very exciting things planned and coming up. So that's enough about, I guess, the intro. And for those who never seen this go live, I am doing this weekly go live to share my journey as entrepreneur, as a person, and give you a different perspective, give a different point of view towards life, whether that's career, your relationship, or health, wealth. Yeah, I'm just sharing, what I know, what I've learned, and so that basically you can achieve, become a better version of yourself, and also achieve higher self. So that was the intro. I'm still working on that intro, by the way. But anyway, so as title says, today's topic is effective communication from inside out. I feel like Facebook video is lagging, but I guess that's okay. So yeah, effective communication from inside out. Of course, the communication skill, having a good communication skill is very important, because you, like, even myself, like, I don't live solely by myself. I have a people, like directly connected to me, and having a good communication skill is very important, because I don't live by myself. And let's see, and then oftentimes a lot of problems happen, or created because of miscommunication. So I don't want to touch on this, because I know in my past, I'll touch on it, more stories, but there is like, oh, I thought you said this, but then other person said, no, I meant this, but then I heard this way. And obviously there's that miscommunication happens. So, and it happens. We're human, and we think differently, and all of us have a different background. So we see the world, we think differently. So but yeah, so it's very important to have a great communication skill, anywhere in your life, whether that's, at work, a career, business, relationship, or even speaking to friends and family. So let's see, got notes here. And so very important, what I'm going to share, it's important to remember what I'm going to share, especially when you're frustrated and mad, and like when you're trying to communicate or talk to other people. And I'm going to talk from the speaker or the talker side of tips today. And then next week, I'm gonna talk about the listener side tips. So that's just a heads up. And then so let's see, like when you are explaining something, whether that's to your friends, family, or your customer, and the listener will come back to you with like a lot of questions. And it could be very frustrating because they're like, especially you're a very detail oriented person, you tell them like, like everything, like 100%, in detail, but they'll come back with questions. Sometimes they might not be listening to you properly, or I shouldn't say properly, but like they missed out on something you already said, and they come back to you. Like when you go to like some meetings or something, there's always one person asking the question that something has been already answered in the group. And that's like completely actually normal, because as a human, the brain works like automatically. Your brain like what do you call it? The distort and delete, generalize information based on their background. And if we actually take in every single information, we wouldn't be a human. So, I understand, people come back to you and ask a lot of questions, and it could be frustrating. But when that happens, it's actually like means that you didn't really like do a good job of explaining it. And that can like give you a different perspective, because you thought you were doing great. You were explaining everything in detailed, and so that they can understand. But if they come back with some questions, means that maybe you didn't touch on it like deep enough, or you didn't explain it well enough from their perspective to understand. And it's very important to this is like I've learned it like in my past jobs, working in the different customer service and working with different clients in different industries. Don't ever assume, don't ever make an assumption of what they think or like what they know, because this is so important. I learned this from taking like the coaching course. It's like you don't know what they went through in the past. You don't know what they know. You can't generalize it. So it's like, the listener is generalizing or, deleting or distorting the information that taking it from you, but you're also doing the same thing by observing the listeners. It like, so if, for example, when you're talking, if they're on the phone, I mean, we think that they're not listening, right? Like, it's like, oh, like your attention is on your phone, which is most of the time probably true, but you're generalizing it because that's how everybody are behaving that way, and then they're not actively listening to you. So it's very important to not to assume. Don't ever assume. It's this, I learned it so much. Like when I was working in a real estate office, I can't remember the exact moment, but like the agent I was working with or working for, he would like, we'll have like a potential customer, and I'll get their information, and I'll let him know, oh, hey, this is the call I got, this is what's happening, whatever. And like he'll ask me, he's like, oh, so are they like for example, like are they going to buy now or in 3 months? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I mean, they called now, so I'm sure they want it by now. And then like I completely made up this assumption without even asking the real the people who said that they were going to buy a house. So and then it comes down to like, obviously this is a speaker point of view, the one explaining it, but you have to ask the right question so that there is no miscommunication. And this is like, I think it happens a lot between, friends and family, I think, especially like, let's say you don't really have a good relationship with your parent, maybe mom or dad, and you just decide not to talk to them for some reason. Oh, no, not some reason, because because you assume that, or let's say I assume that my dad was mad at me or something. And but like I never asked my dad why he was mad or why he's acting this way. And if I asked him, it's like, why are you mad, or what, did I do anything wrong? Then that's what it opens up the door, and so that there was no miscommunication, and then then we can solve that awkward like atmosphere then, rather than holding on to it until later on. So don't ever make assumption. So, and I'm like, second thing is, let's see, so don't ever make assumption, but also like this ties into that, but I'll understand other people or other person's situation, like being able to be in their shoes. And the good example is, let's say you are getting like a cable or internet connection, and there's something wrong with it. So you're mad, right? Like your internet is not working, or your TV isn't working, you're frustrated. So you call the customer service, and from the get-go, like some people are very mad, because I've been the other part of, not necessarily this cable situation, but I've been in the customer service, picking the phone on the other side and had to handle unsatisfied customers. And then, so let's see where I was going with it. So people will call and get from the get-go, it's like, oh my goodness, I bought this, but it's not working. Why? And like, this shouldn't be this way, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I'm sure you've had that situation before. You're like super frustrated. Even like, let's say you order something at restaurant and then something completely different came in front of you. You're like, well, this is not what I ordered, but instead of like making a scene and say, it's like, oh my god, this is not what I ordered, or like, the steak is not cooked done the right way or whatever, instead of making a scene, just take a deep breath and then think of that server's point of view, or the person who's on the other side of you. And like, I'm sure a lot of people being in that situation where you have to solve or like handle complaints or unsatisfied, not necessarily customer, maybe like your partner, they're not happy and they were complaining, and you have to handle that situation. And so before you say anything, take a deep breath and then think about the other person's situation. And so like, let's say the restaurant situation, being a server, server only works there, whether, she or he likes being there, but most likely it wasn't her mistakes, or let's see, maybe it wasn't her or him that like created this mistake. And on top of it, like maybe that person had a really, really long day. Maybe, I mean, if you're a server, and then you have a lot of tables to take care of, we're human, we make mistakes. So even it was, their mistake, understand, look around, there's a lot of people. Even if you're a customer, that's the part. Even if you're a customer, you're paying for it, you have to understand the other person's perspective, because you never know. Like maybe that person is working there so that they can feed their family, that, they're trading their time to be there to work. Like I said, yes, they're the employee, you might say, I don't care, I'm the one paying for it. But what if you were in their situation? What if you were, or you are going to be in that situation in the future? Do you want to be treated that way? And this is something I've learned, obviously, working in the customer service. But like when you're trying to solve a problem, or so like go back to like a customer service for like a internet connection, cable service, don't just come out like, hey, this is not working, I paid for this, I can't believe I'm not getting this good service, blah blah blah. Instead of doing that, like, imagine somebody's telling you that, you don't feel good, right? I mean, I know that not everybody is going to be like that, but be the person who you treat the, what's the word? Like, basically become the people who you want to be and then treated that way, So like approach them nicely. How I would like approach if I'm like, I don't usually complain. I haven't had any bad experience, to be honest, but in the past, if there isn't something working or, going in the right way, I'll tell them, hey, I really love this place or love your service, but this part isn't working. And I really appreciate if you can take a look or, look into it more for me. And so that I'm not the only one getting this issue, or, make sure that nobody else is getting the same issue. And yeah, like when you approach that, like if somebody tells you that, like they say that they love what you do or your service, products and services, you want to treat them right? Because they're like loyal customers, and or even the partner, if they come out, like for example, like relationship, you don't want to tell other person, hey, you're doing this wrong, you should do it this way, but more of like, hey, I really love you, I really like you, but I like this part, it bothers me. If you change this, like I think it will be more effective, or like what's the word, like it would grow us, as a couple together or something like that, and I can break. So I used to work in the results, and like I say, we're human, so like we make mistakes. Maybe like like a card, the key card didn't work or whatever. People come back, and I worked at the high end hotel, so people pay a lot of money to stay there. And like I said, I totally get their perspective too, that they're paying this amount of money, but then you have to understand the other person's perspective. Maybe the hotel is very busy, and they just completely forgot about it. And then also, if they're, I guess this is kind of like, their quality as a person too, but some people, like a lot of people work very hard and they're very genuine people. Trust me, like I've met a lot of people, with business or at work, and a lot of people, majority of people are genuine and they want to work hard and, do their best. But I know there's some people that are slacking, and, for that situation, it's hard to actually, no, that's even better to think about their situations. Like, why are they so miserable, or they're not working hard enough or whatever. But anyway, so yeah, we've had people making scenes at front desk. Oh my God, the internet is going down again. I don't know why, but I'm just gonna keep going on Instagram. But anyway, so like, at hotel, I've, I've seen and I've heard people making scene at front desk is like, I didn't get this right, I didn't get this right, blah, 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 blah. And if you're going to make a scene, you know, especially in a hotel, every single department know your complaint because you made a scene. And then if something goes wrong next time, they obviously they're gonna make, you know, take a put an extra attention on you, but they not gonna like act as fast. Like, I mean, like, think about it. If somebody complains, even if you're friends and like, do you want to stick around with them? You know, do you want to treat them a good way? So that's what I wanted to share today. And then I know Facebook, the internet is not working again, but I'm happy just going live on Instagram right now. Let's see who's watching. Hello, hello. I'll just wait back. And yes, I guess I'm gonna end this go live on Facebook. I got the sickness is kind of killing me. All right, and if it ends. Anyway, so if you love what I shared, you know, I don't know if you can actually like this video on Instagram. I don't know how that works, but send me a message. Just like give me a thumbs up. You know, just let me know. I really love getting the feedbacks. I've heard a couple of people from last week that they really enjoy my content, so I really love hearing that you enjoy my videos and what I've been sharing on my page. So that's all I have to say. And then I hope you're having an amazing day, and then hope your 2020 is going well. And then I'll see you next week. So I'm going to talk about the effective communication from listener perspective next week. So anyway, have a great day. Oh, I forgot to do this one. Where is to? Here we go.